sector. Thank you, David, for doing your thing. Thank you so much. I'm wearing local, by David Klale, which is a nice touch to this conversation that we are having. So I think you'll agree that that commercial was very emotive, and the background that I gave to the commercial. But before we hit the sweet spot with this conversation, for everybody watching, I want to ask you for two things. Number one is for you to send us your comments, your questions, either to Proudly South African or to any of our speakers that are online today. You're very welcome. This discussion is also for you. It doesn't matter which sector you come from. You may want to, be part of the sugar sector at some point. You may be a consumer. You may be in the private sector or the public sector. This conversation is for all women and men, if you like, because we can imagine that there's men on the line as well. So for everyone watching, there is a competition. We're looking for 20 people who are going to answer, the question and give us the correct answer. And the answer you will get in the context in what I say about the sector. You will see on your screen, there's a QR code that you need to take. Grab your phone, take a picture of that code, follow the details, and enter the competition. And the question is there, and the answer is in the context, in the opening that I said. But for those of you who are paying attention, is that this sector, the sugar sector, takes care of about 1 million households. That's what the sector does, over and above many, many other things. The sector takes care of about 1 million livelihoods. Go to the competition and see what it is that you are asked to do there. And the competition has these fantastic South African goodies, or rather proudly South African made goodies, these lovely bags. I would love to win one of these. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to enter the competition, but this is what the goodie bag that you're going to win has got in it. You've got the stuff on the screen now, just to give you an idea of what it is that you can win. But we also have, from the 20 winners, we will choose one lucky person who is going to win a weekend away, courtesy of Coca-Cola beverages, a weekend away with your partner. So do your thing. Let your fingers do the talking. Grab that phone, enter the competition, follow the details, and win something. Somebody win something, courtesy of Coca-Cola beverages and Proudly South African today. Fantastic. So with that said, I would like us to have a look at the screen again as we play a anthem from one of our member companies who's a partner here today, Hewlett's South Africa, where, we've all gone through so many things, so much. We're juggling this thing called life, the pandemic, job losses, everything that you can think of. And every now and then we need to sing the national anthem, or to at least hear it. And with that said, here's the anthem that we did together with Hewlett's. Technical, hit us with the anthem, please. Welcome back, everybody. So it gives me great pleasure to now introduce you to the women who are doing incredible things in the sugar sector, who we want to celebrate today. Celebrate them and celebrate their teams behind the scenes, who ultimately contributes one way or another to us walking into a retail store as consumers and we grab a packet of sugar and we take it back home to do, to consume it, whichever way that we would like to consume it. But with that said, we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and maybe not the not so ugly, because we all know that with anything that you consume, whether it's your favorite wine, whether it's your favorite cup of tea, whatever it is, you need to ensure as a person that you need to do it in moderation. But we'll talk about that just now. Anna-Marie de Beer, welcome this morning. Anna-Marie is from Nestle South Africa, and she is nutrition, health, and wellness manager for Nestle East and Southern Africa region. Anna-Marie, your bio is a thesis, is a whole Bible. I will never be able to go through it, but I acknowledge the fact that you have done amazing and you keep doing amazing things. Welcome and good morning. With the greatest of pleasure. We couldn't have a discussion in the sugar sector without Nestle South Africa in the mix. Nestle South Africa has been a member of the Proudly South African campaign for the past 8 to 10 years, if my memory serves me well. So you remain a great friend of the campaign with all your amazing products that many households have had in the over the years. Who can ever forget the likes of Kit Kat, that our kids are still going gaga over it? Who can forget Cremora and Ree Coffee? But I have a bone to pick with you, Anna-Marie. Nestle South Africa promised South Africans a 25-hour a day, 25 hours in a day in your product, bar one. We're still waiting for the extra hour in the 24 hours that we have. What do you say to that? We just need to figure it out ourselves, the 25 hours. Thank you so much, Anna-Marie. We'll have a chat with you just now. I also want to welcome on the podium, onto the screen rather than the podium, Nkonzo Mhlongo. Nkonzo Mhlongo is Corporate Affairs Executive at Hewlett, South Africa. Nkonzo, welcome to you this morning. Morning. Could we please, there we go. I was about to ask if you're running away from us because we couldn't see you on screen. Welcome, Nkonzo. Nkonzo is from, like I said, Corporate Affairs Executive at Hewlett's. Welcome. You are a friend of the campaign, as in Hewlett's. We've done amazing things with you over the past 12 months or so, and it gives us great pleasure to have you on the platform so we can have a chat about some of the things that you do for Hewlett's. Thank you so much. Thank you. And our next guest is Matlogonolo, who is also connecting with us. Matlogonolo is the owner of the Bread Box. The Bread Box has brought us amazing delicacies today. Matlogonolo is a mover and shaker. Matlogonolo is, in fact, I have so much respect for your hustle. You don't rest, which is amazing. We love you and we thank you for being with us this morning. Good morning, Matlogonolo. Fantastic, welcome. Great to see you today. And then we move on to, we have on the line, Joan Fabs on the line, who is Vice Chair of the Sugar Association of South Africa, a friend of the Proudly South African campaign. We've had Joan in some of our sessions in the past. Welcome to you, Joan.
Oh, thank you for inviting me to participate in MC.
It is our pleasure. It is great to see you again. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to having a chat with you just now. And we have another speaker, last but not least. She is from from Coca-Cola Beverages, CCBSA. Her name is Busi Tusi, and she is Head of Procurement and Transformation at Coca-Cola Beverages. Good morning, Busi, and welcome.
Good morning, Happy, and thank you for the opportunity to connect.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time this morning. So we do have a cook/chef in the studio as well, and we're going to talk to her about the delicacies that they've prepared for us. And it is really just our effort to try and showcase to you what it is that you can do with sugar at home. In case you're looking for you're looking for a plan to whip up some scones today for high tea, or you want to whip up some dessert today for something. We have goodies in the studio today to showcase to you, and I'm going to have a quick chat with our guest in the studio. Her name is Precious.
Yes.
Precious, hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thanks, and you?
Good, thanks.
All right, we see you've created rather delicacies that we can easily make at home using sugar. You're from the bread
From
box,
the bread
right?
box,
You from the
yes.
and the
Hi.
bread box does amazing stuff. You're a confectionery, and you are a training studio as well for budding cooks
Yes.
and budding chefs. And we've seen you do amazing things, and hence Matlokonolo is on the line to chat to us about her business,
Yes.
because the bread box is a proudly South African member. Take us through some of these lovely things. It feels like I want to eat breakfast now.
You can actually.
Yeah. So what do we have here? What is this? Is a bagel roll, right?
Yes, it is.
But it's a different color.
It's a different color. It's
Yeah.
charcoal actually. We have a whole lot of sugar in it. So to have you bouncing up and down, but in order to keep it moderate, we added a little bit of chicken mayo with the
Yes.
salad in there, just to have that little bit of crunch.
Yeah.
So we used our unsweetened milk for this, condensed milk.
Yes.
For the sauce.
Yes.
It's a special sauce from the Bread Box Bakery. You don't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you have to come in there,
Yes.
and have more of it. But we have something here for our guests here as well to nibble on something.
Okay. And then tell me about, don't go to the dessert as yet,
Mhm.
because we will leave that for later. We leave the
Okay.
best for last.
Yes.
Tell me about the scones and the cakes, because I feel like because it's in the morning,
You
you
need
could
to
do
have
that
your-
for tea,
Yes.
right? With tea rather.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So our scones are our best seller. So as you can see here, we have different color scones.
Yes.
This is our orange scones.
Mhm.
And then here we have a mixture of our coconut and plain scones.
Mhm.
So what we did here, we substituted what we usually use. So we use, normally it's just your normal sugar, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So because increasing the levels, we used our condensed milk here.
Okay.
And then
The
just to-
condensed milk from Nestle South Africa.
Yes, from
Fantastic.
Nestle South
There we
Africa.
go.
We have to
Okay.
keep it,
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just to give you that little bit of a buzz and to make sure that you keep coming back for more.
That's
you
the
know?
secret.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
the secret.
Yes.
And then we have here our berry and chocolate cake.
Okay. Hang on.
Yes.
This will come later. Remember, we're leaving the best for last. I want to
Everything
talk
is the
about the
best.
pancakes.
The pancakes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. So our pancakes here, we have our evaporated unsweetened milk.
Okay.
Yes. So instead of
Listen, very complicated.
Uh-huh.
Evaporated unsweetened milk. Is that it? Okay. All right. That's English
Yes.
from Harvard.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, you can just have this as is, so perfect.
Yes.
Or you can just add your little bit of cream, if you
Yeah.
want from Nestle, of course.
Yeah.
Just to,
Okay.
have a little bit
Just to
of that.
jazz it up a
Just
little
to
bit.
jazz it
But
up
I
a bit.
also see that you also jazzed it up with
Mhm.
some
Fruits.
cherries and
Yes.
some
Strawberries,
strawberries.
oranges.
you know?
Yes. We're going into summer.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
have to keep it lively, so we have that it's not just for the eyes, but you can
Yes.
also chop it up a little bit with your, like I said, your cream as well, and just top it with strawberries, garnish it with oranges as
Yes.
well, and berries,
Okay.
just to keep it.
All right. So in typical South African lingo, we say tibopa.
Yes.
Hang
Yes.
on. Just leave it there. We will be back
Okay.
to talk about the rest of the stuff while we connect to
Okay.
Matlokonolo. Have we got Matlokonolo back online? Welcome back, Matlokonolo. So I want to talk to you about what we've just seen. Precious is doing an amazing job with us here in the studio. You should have been here. You should have been here, but next time we'll make it happen. So Matapanolo, tell us about the importance of food in your life. You know, how you became interested in cooking and baking as the bread box. You're an entrepreneur, right? And you chose to go into this business. Yeah.
Yes, I think looking at the industry that I've been since I finished my schooling in ICT, I'm a foodie at heart. So I grew up in a family where I was raised by my grandmother. My grandmother was a baker. So I think when I grew up, I thought she was actually abusing us because by 4 o'clock, we literally had to wake up and bake and then go to school before that. So that our neighbors and other people can actually have bread and other stuff to do. So she's actually the one that actually raised me. I vowed that I'll never touch flour in my life up until I got to a place where when I moved to Midrand, I started seeing women carrying placards and stuff like that. And then I, being my inquisitive self, I did ask, what is it that it could take them away from the streets? And I asked them that if I give you a skill that I've acquired over the years, would you be able to do something with your life instead of relying on your grants? Because if somebody teaches you a skill, it's not something that you can take away. So that's where my passion for food, because I'm a foodie at heart, but then I decided to do something with it to empower other women that are struggling, because with the skill that somebody has actually given to you, nobody can take it away from you. So we have actually done so many things. We've actually started, it didn't start as a business, it started as us empowering women, and our demand became bigger, and we found ourselves opening the first store in 2018 in April. So, and with that, even most of the people that work for us is the people that we really took from streets, and we actually train them with partnership with culinary schools that are around, that are actually helping us to be able to professionalize them. So we've got actually good relationship with them to be able to empower them so that when they go to their villages, they're able to do something for themselves. So that's how we really started. And I think we continue to do that. We continue to empower women like Precious, I call her Basani. So she's a very wonderful a young lady. So she's a fast learner. So, and then we empower them to be able to train others that are coming also, because it's really amazing. So I really wake up. I think it's my purpose to make sure that other women are okay and they have acquired skills, and then they have something that can actually they can make a living from.
And my next question to you was going to be, who inspired you to get into this industry and do what you do? Because I do believe that you were in the corporate world at some point with the cell phone company, and you left and you took the leap of faith and opened up your own business. But you have already mentioned your grandmother, who you were off the view back then when you were growing up, that you were being abused when she was asking you to cook magwinya in the morning and bake whatever it is. But look at you today. Look at you today. So upbringing is absolutely critical. But I think I get a sense that your grandmother also taught you as one of the women that inspired you. And you can tell us who else, that inspired you to fix your own crown, but fix other women's crowns as well, correct?
Yes. I think for me, as we grew up in a family where everybody was there for everyone. So like it was when I grew up the only child for the longest time, I think for 8 years or so. So in our family, my mom and my grandmother would take other kids in to assist, whether to take them to school or to do anything else. So we grew up like that. My aunt would take us in. My aunt would take the neighbors or any other person. So we grew up in a family. And even when you come to my house right now, there are some children or some kids that I've taken in so that we can help. We don't have much, but if we can help, to take kids out of a certain situation and bring them into a favorable environment, we do that. And I think for me, my husband was like, sometimes I think, I put him in the spot because I'll just be like, I found somebody else, and then I put them in the coach to say, up until they sort themselves out. And then he thought I'm talking about, I'm going to do it the next day or so, but then the person is already in the car. So that's the kind of how I think how I grew up. It has a lot of to do with it more than anything else. I mean, my mother still does the same. My aunts are still doing the same, helping and taking people in and helping them in a way that they can. Because like in our home, I think it's only ladies. Like my aunts, they 4. So it's all ladies, and, how they grew and how they help each other. I think it had a lot to do with what I'm currently doing today. And it comes naturally for me, because it's something that I grew up with.
Okay. And for those people who are, some of the people who are online today, and they now know that the Bread Box is a member of the campaign, and they would like to join the movement, because that's why we do these things. We want to showcase South African products and South African services to the broader South Africa. We want to say to South Africans, we do have products that are made locally. We do have services such as yours that are authentic and that are South African, where where South Africans are assisting each other with employment. I mean, you do have people. How many people do you employ in your business?
10.
10. Those are 10 households that rely on the job that they have at the Bread Box, where at the end of the month or during the month, they take care of their family members. And some of those, the people that you employ may be breadwinners. Big deal, something that we cannot take for granted as a people and as proudly South African in terms of the efforts that we make. For somebody who may be sitting out there and thinking, how do I join the movement, the Proudly South African movement? I will tell you how, but I would like you to share with us, what has Proudly South African done for you in the last couple of months, in the last year that you've been a member? How have we, as Proudly South Africans, stepped in to assist you as an entrepreneur in South Africa?
Sure, there's a lot. Where do I start? Besides the fact that I'm always making you guys
the short vision.
So I'm that child when they got a parent and the parent says, we can open doors, we can help you knock on doors that you do. So I think I don't know where to start, and I think you guys have done a lot for me. And the opening doors that I would have actually taken longer. And I think one thing that you guys assisted a lot is that we started the kids cooking championships. Our kids cooking championship is that we teach kids how to cook, and then we are saying cooking is maths and science made edible. And also what we're doing is that we are turning these kids into functional adults. So we're not teaching them to kiddies food. And also, we're also trying to change the narrative in the kitchen, where we're saying to young boys, I only have boys. And these boys, like, they always saying, Mommy, I'm hungry, Mommy, so they need to step up and then make food for themselves. And we demonstrated with my 7-year-old, who started at 5-year-old, that boy can actually make a 3-course meal while we're sitting with no assistance. So Proudly SA has assisted with partners in terms of making sure that Kiddies Cooking Championship happens, and we really appreciate. And then ever since that, we have seen people having interest. Every weekend, our classes are fully booked, and we're having an overflow because people now are seeing the difference and then the feedback that we're getting. But I think if it wasn't for Proudly SA and trying to make us meet other, partners, and I don't know, like, if we would have managed to be where we are, and including also our bakery, where, Proudly SA would send people to our bakery to say, check Bread Box out, do this, and also saying, how is it that we can help you? And for me, it was easy. Joining Proudly SA didn't take me 10 minutes, and the process is easy. Within 3 days, you're already a member, you got your certificate, and, they keep on, holding your hand. And I think Proudly SA has been holding our hand from day one up until today. And it's really amazing. So sometimes the way I speak about Proudly SA, people are asking me, do you work there? Like, do you work for Proudly SA? But it's because what they have done for us, and I'm always advocating for people to buy local, the importance of buying local, because if people are not coming and buying bread from us, if people are not coming and buying, it means that we will end up shutting down, and the people that rely on us in terms of giving them employment won't have anywhere to go. So for me, buy local movement, I think it's one of the, the things that is very close to my heart, because we've got people that are also relying on us so that they can feed their families. So I really advocate for buy local, and Proudly SA, they know that if there's any campaign that has to say buy local, I'm there. I don't ask any question. I'll rather try and figure something out so that I can be part of it, because it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the economy, and especially for us as small business.
Thank you so much, Matlakgonolo. I mean, we appreciate you. Like I said earlier on, we respect your hustle, because you really are a hard worker. And as I say goodbye to you, I want to say big ups to you for ensuring that your boy children in your home, do not prescribe to this narrative that the kitchen is a place for women only. Those little boys must whip up their own sandwiches. They must contribute, and help you cook their meals. At times as women, you come back from work and you really literally want to throw yourself on the couch with the remote. And there could be little people that come to you and say, Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry, depending on how old they are, of course. And if your boy child can go to the kitchen and sort themselves up, it's it's an amazing thing. But also, going forward, when they're adults and they're able to have an appreciation that they can help their partner in the kitchen is not a woman's place. Who set the rule? Who set that tone? Who set the narrative? It's okay not to be in the kitchen as a woman if you choose not to be. But thank you so much, Matlakgonolo. We wish you all the best with your business. Keep flying the proudly South African flag high. And we were still talking about you rather than about your business, even when you get off the call, because we still have Precious hanging out here with us. And we're going to talk about desserts and all sorts of things later on. Thank you, Matlakgonolo. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that was Matlakgonolo. She is the owner and founder of the Bread Box. They're based in Midrand. They're a beautiful confectionery, and they're also a training studio for budding cooks and chefs. But Precious will tell us later how to find them. But they are on social media. Look them up, everybody. Look them up and follow them and go and support them. Don't support them because shame. You feel sorry for them. Support them because they are an amazing, great small business that, and they're working very, very hard, creating magic in the kitchen. Thank you so much, Joan. Please, may we have Joan on the line, on screen. Joan, I'm hoping that so far you are enjoying the discussions, but I want to bring you in at this point, and I want to ask you this, Joan, that it seems the sugar industry has been the most progressive in terms of land transfer. Can you tell us what this means to the growers and to the rural communities?
Indeed. I'll start back to front, as it were. Sugar is grown in rural areas. And that means the whole socio-economy is reliant on the business the sugar industry brings in. And it is absolutely amazing how SASA has recognized the need to promote diversity in the sugar industry as well. But more than that, it has been able to transfer more than 21% of freehold land under sugarcane from white farmers to black farmers without a shot being fired. Mm-hmm. And they've been able to do this through the enabling legislation of the broad-based Black economic empowerment, as well as the strategy. that has provided an enabling environment for SASA to do this work. But more than that, this is Women's Month. And I suppose 20 years ago or so, one hardly saw a woman in a professional position in SASA. That is no longer the case at all. They have focused on empowering women to take their rightful place alongside their brothers in the sugar industry, from being farm managers, farm owners, to actually in the financial and administration side of the SASA, the South African sugar industry. They've also done so much in the milling companies. You know, up to now, South Africa has had been dominated, if you like, by white industrialists. But what the millers have done is to encourage the ownership, increasing the ownership of Black people in the industry there. And they've done this by capacitation. SASA also has a training establishment which provides technical training as well as training in the agricultural fields. And then what they cannot do, then people in the sugar industry, and by people, I mean people from largely rural, poor areas, are able to get bursaries from SITFA, one of the first trust funds to promote Black empowerment. And they can go right up to getting their doctorates, which I was amazed to see how many women were pursuing a career in the agricultural industry and enjoying it and saying, this is what I want to do. This is what I aspire to do. And I think one is able to do this in the sugar industry because on the one hand, it's all about food, yes, sugar. We've seen this with the chef here and the work that's been done in the bread basket and so on. But on the other hand, it is also about contributing and supporting the energy sector through the production of ethanol. But of course, at the moment, we have a Sugar Act. And the Sugar Act is supportive primarily, if I may put it this way, in the production of sugar. So, of course, the new minister, the current Minister Patel, is looking at this, as is Parliament. Look, we've got to move on into the future. And the future is going to mean, I believe, sugar, the whole plant, etc., will be used, not simply the sugar inside, but the juice for ethanol, the bagasse, that is what some people see as the plants and the leaves, etc. They can be used as organic fertilizer, but also we are told by the experts it is the cheapest and best and healthiest of among the animal feeds once it's mixed in. The other thing about bagasse, it takes a long, long time to grow a tree, as we know.
Yeah.
Sugarcane grows in a year. And the bagasse can be used to produce cardboard. We use a lot of cardboard as we are moving away from, if you like, plastic bags, etc. But again, sugar can be mixed with plastic, if you like. And in mixing it, it reduces some of the pollution aspects of plastic itself. Sugar can also contribute to the production of pharmaceuticals. You know, I was in Cuba some years back, and I was astonished to learn that they were producing a drug for cancer, to address cancer from sugarcane. So we often see sugarcane and say, oh, too much sugar, obesity. And it is unfortunate that we see it like that. It could be because, as you probably know, our sweets and our cool drinks use a lot more sugar than elsewhere in the world. But I must congratulate Coca-Cola in being among the first of the cool drink producers to actually reduce the amount of sugar, even in the original Coca-Cola, if I can put it that way. Because these days I see you get 4 forms of Coca-Cola, light, this, that, and the next thing.
Yes.
But I was told, and I sat next to him, the president of Coca-Cola at that time, that don't have this one, you must have the original. It's far healthier. So I think we need to appreciate the beneficial aspects of sugar when consumed in the right quantities, as I believe the bread basket is trying to do as well. The other thing I would like to point out is when I stayed in Namibia, it was very clear when mines closed down, you had the development of ghost towns. The danger is if industry such as the sugar industry has to close down, you will get ghost villages and towns in South Africa. So it's in the interest of the entire community of South Africans, not only the government, but the private sector, as well as NGOs, to support industries like the sugar industry so that they continue to provide for the socio-economic life in a rural community, which they do. And I must say that SASA, with its determination to transform the profile of the industry from what was 100% white, but now is more and more, the profile, racial profile is more and more diversified because of their active and positive approach to assisting Black sugarcane farmers, especially the small sugarcane farmers. And a lot of this work goes to SAFTA, the South African Farmers Association, who also, if I can say, led the charge in this transformation. But the industry as a whole now, from cane growers to millers to SAFTA, are all pursuing the same transformation road, and that is, let us diversify the racial profile, let us diversify the production profile, and let us diversify the skills that our country needs. And I felt very honored to have been invited to contribute to the South African sugar industry. I thank you most sincerely, Happy. And you look beautiful, I must say. I love your dress.
Thank you. And it's local. You did hear that part, right? Thank you so much. But Joan, let me tell you this. I mean, I big ups to you and your women colleague, in leadership position and in your organization, on the role that you and your female colleagues have played in transforming the sector. It's not somebody else's problem, right? When we are in positions where we can make a difference, it does become our responsibility as well. We can't sit in our little corner and point a finger at somebody else who you think should be doing the job. You have demonstrated with the female colleagues in the industry and in the South African sugar. So I request that please, or reminder rather, to please send us your questions. Be a part of the conversation. Come on, be part of the conversation. Many, 2 competitions to enter. We're looking for 20 winners and another special winner with the weekend away situation. And then we also have the bread box, 3-course dining experience. Guys, we're not messing around in Proudly South African. And with all our partners, we're doing this thing and we're doing it right. And courtesy of the bread box, Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, Nestle South Africa, and Hewlett. Thank you so much. Thank you. We can never thank you enough. Nkonzo, are you online? Nkonzo is right here with us, and Nkonzo is from executive from Hewlett's SA, our friend out in KZN. Welcome back, Nkonzo. Tell us a bit about your role at Hewlett's and how the sugar value chain plays out through Hewlett's.
No, thank you. I'm the corporate affairs executive. My role mainly entails stakeholder engagement. By stakeholder, we mean our growers or our farmers. We have about, in particular, about 10,000 small-scale growers that one interfaces with, as well as the co-ops. We have about 70 co-ops. We are also engaging with rural communities in terms of the traditional leadership structures. Like Joan had indicated that we are a rural industry. So as a company in the areas where we operate, I am responsible for interfacing or for linking our company representatives with the relevant community leadership. I'm also responsible for engaging with government in all spheres, be it national, provincial, as well as local. And we also engage with a number of other stakeholders, be it closer communities in terms of where our mills are also positioned, or in the communities or what we call transitional communities in terms of the informal settlements. Where again we draw some of our labor. So that's the crux of my role. I'm also facilitating from a corporate social investment space. I think the right terminology now is the socio-economic development in terms of how, as a company, we can invest back in the communities where we operate, either through bursary programs or be it food security. One also facilitate working again in conjunction with the community structures in the targeted areas. The last bit is mainly around communication in ensuring that when there are good stories about the organization, we are able to communicate internally in terms of our employees, as well as then the broader audience in terms of South Africa. Obviously, as a company, we are more than 100 years old, so we try as much as possible to ensure that we remain relevant in terms of our interaction or engagements with communities. When it comes to the value chain, obviously, I always enjoy when I'm engaging with youngsters, to know where. I always ask them, where does sugar come from? They will say from a particular shop, but from where we are as Tonga Tillet, it starts from a seed cane. We call it a certified seed cane, where to get healthy seedlings, which then goes into a sugar stock that is looked after, be it our commercial farmers, be it our land reform farmers, be it our co-ops. And it depends. In other areas, it's grown for 12 months. In other areas, it's for a period of 18 months. Thereafter, it's harvested by the growers themselves. It's then hauled to our mills. We have 4 mills as a company, where it's crushed until then it produces the relevant sugar crystals. It's then taken to our refinery for packaging and then distributed in the various distribution centers. So that's the value chain within which we operate as Tonga Tillet.
All right, and as the first, you're the leader of the pack, by the way, Hewlett, South Africa, the only sugar brand that has joined the movement, the proudly South African movement, and big ups for that. For being the leader of the pack. And I just want to quickly touch on the unfortunate events that we saw about 4 weeks ago in South Africa, the unrest. It has happened. We have seen the devastating outcome of that. We are here now, we're rebuilding. We have to continue. We're rebuilding the economy. How did that affect you as a brand? Any aspect of the value chain that you operate within?
Were affected. In particular, we have a grouping of co-ops at Mbongolwane, which is a show, where a few hectares, around 440 hectares, that were sort of put on fire during the unrest. So that has had an impact in that particular grouping of cooperatives. I think the members within the 3 co-ops, we are talking about 750 members that obviously had clubbed in their land parcels to actually formalize their cooperatives. But we are engaging with the local municipalities, the national government, and a number of conversations that have been facilitated through the industry or through the South African Sugar Association to see how best those growers could be supported. On our side, as a company, obviously the crushing of sugarcane is scheduled. But following the incident, we actually ensured that we prioritized the things that were affected at the time. There was also the issue around the warehouse, where we also had some looting that was reported there. Once again, we are engaging with the DTIC in terms of, painting the picture in terms of the impact and the quantities of the sugars or of the sugar that was looted. But overall, I think as an industry, we have come together. By industry, I mean the growers, I mean the millers, I mean the industry as an administrator of the 2 structures. And also government has also been quite responsive in terms of receiving the information and ensuring that the right responses and the interventions are there. Through SASA, we are aware that also the DTIC has also put in place a fund where the likes of the IDC, the NEF are also a party to that. I think when you look at the IDC package, you will see that it focuses mainly on the rural communities, and it moves beyond just the sugarcane growing business. But it is also saying if there were schools that were also impacted or any other social infrastructure that was impacted as a result of the riots, we need to also present that information to them so that they can facilitate some form of intervention. So overall, it was a challenging experience, but as a collective, I think there are interventions and systems that have been put in place to ensure that no one is negatively affected in the long run as a result of the riots.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nkonzo. You will be pleased to know that when that happened, we had our CEO wrote to yours, just to say that we are, we stand in solidarity with you. We are, we are also saddened by what had transpired, because as a member company, it was important for us to not turn a blind eye, to reach out to Hewlett South Africa. And it was pleasing to see that your CEO wrote back and said, of all of this to doing the work that we do. We committed to our localization, your localization commitment, and you are committed to ensuring that you sustain the many jobs within the Hewlett South Africa operation. Thank you so much for forging ahead, even in the midst of trouble. With that said, please don't go away. We're not done with you yet, but there is a nice comment that I would like to read to you and to Joan. It's directed at both of you. It is from Anjalia Naidu, who says, "Thank you, Joan and Gonzo, for taking me back to my childhood in Kempsbell Township, Mount Edgecombe, where our fathers, brothers, and sons worked on the sugar estate and the mills, which since have closed. Sad to see that the people are no longer there. The town has been torn down for new developments. Sad to see. But this discussion is evoking beautiful memories for some of our viewers, who, particularly those who are out in the KZN region, which is a great thing to see. Thank you so much, Gonzo. We'll chat to you just now. And now we move on to our next guest, Busi. Busi is from Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. Busi is on the line with us. We did say hello. There we go. We did say hello to you earlier on. We are hoping you are raring to go, having heard the stories of these other women. Thank you so much for joining us, Busi. Welcome. So please, could you briefly tell us about Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa is working, tell us how Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa is working on supplier transformation and overall transformation in your workplace.
Thank you, Happy. As Coca-Cola Beverages, we are very committed to supplier transformation and transformation in general. So I'm taking you to 3 years back in 2018, we made a commitment to transform 3.9 billion of our supply chain, of our procurement to Black-owned suppliers. And where we are standing at the moment, we actually have exceeded the target. We've transformed above 7 billion to the hands of Black-owned suppliers. With that said, our ambition then in 2018 was for us to be a level 1 BBB company by 2022. And actually reached that goal ahead of the target. As that this year, 2021, we are now a level 1 BBB company. And from a supply transformation point of view, we've maximized the scorecard in terms of the BBBE, where obviously above 50% of our procurement is sitting in Black hands, and also Black women procurement, we've pushed that as well. So all the elements that we had to push, we've maximized on those. But what is key to note is for us as Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, transformation is not just about the scorecard. We are committed to true transformation. So although we've maximized the scorecard and we're a level 1 BBB company, the journey for transformation is still continuing. So what we have in place, obviously, we go out to market and we try and we bring transform suppliers into our business, but we also focus on local procurements. If we take the sugar industry into consideration, there's the Sugar Master Plan, which was signed. And as Coca-Cola Beverages Company, we had committed that we'll procure 80%, make sure that 80% of our sugar is procured locally in year 1, and by year 3 we committed to 95%. And as we are standing now, year to date, we are sitting at 100%. So we do appreciate that. Obviously, within the sugar industry, I think for them, the consumption of sugar has reduced, and I think from our side, it has mainly been driven by the health motion levy, which put into place, which had forced us, as John Marie has said, to reformulate some of our products and try and use less sugar. but I mean, we are committed to the South African industry. We are committed to transformation. So over and above that, when we onboard suppliers onto our supply base, we actually make sure that we support and we make sure that they're sustainable. So we've got supply development programs that we do, and as well as we've got an SME fund, the 100 million SME fund that we've got to make sure that we support those suppliers where there's needs for capital expansion, that they are able to attain those goals. And what is also key to note that, we've also got a Zero Foundation, which has done a lot in terms of supporting the small scale sugarcane farmers. So we've invested in those, we've provided them, some of them with transport to make sure that they're able to transport some of their sugarcane, the sugar mills, which them are out of their way. So there is quite a lot, and the process is evolving, but I think with that said, collaboration for us is very key, which is why we are also stakeholders in the Sugar Master Plan, is basically one to make sure that the sugar industry is sustainable and it grows, because obviously it is one of the key ingredients for us to produce our products. So it is in our interest to make sure that the jobs within that market are saved, that market is profitable and grows. And but I think all in all is we want to also have a voice and be heard and contribute to the transformation of the economy of the country as a whole.
Yeah. And so lovely to hear that, like you say, you being part of the Sugar Master Plan is also in growth and transformation, but that there's also inclusivity. You said that you were sitting at 80% at the time, was it? And you are now on 95, or you are anticipating, or you plan to be at 95% at some point?
So the pledge was, when we started, was 80%, right? And by year 3, obviously, the pledge was for us to be at 95%, and we've exceeded those targets. And I'm saying, as we are sitting here today, we are sitting at 100%, but sometimes we cannot guarantee the supply. Something might force us to go outside of the market. But yes, from where we are, we've exceeded those commitments, which was 80% in year 1 and 95%. We just completed year 1 and 95% by year 3. So we have exceeded those targets.
Yeah. So,
but I think also what I must add, what is key to note within the business as a whole is, and taking into account Women's Month, is we've done a lot from a supply chain to make sure that we onboard female suppliers and empower them. And also that you can see that throughout the organization, because even within the organization, we've got about 40% of women in leadership, in senior leadership positions, and we are basically striving to improve that percentage to even be higher. So for us, like I said, transformation is not just about a scorecard or targets. We are overachievers when it comes to transformation, because we are responsible corporate citizens.
Good for you, Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. And it's heartwarming to see. 3 years ago, so we took you, Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, to the Presidential Job Summit, where you were represented by your colleague Mutsidisi Mokoena back then, where you as a company made a commitment to the president to say you will increase your level of localization in your operation. And the fact that today you sit at 100% is really just so so pleasing to see that there's a lot of work that has happened over the past 3 years or so. And also the fact that you are you are intentional as a company to ensure that women in your operation claim their positions, because they're capable. not because you're just ticking a box, but because they can do the work, and clearly it shows in the work that you do. Thank you so much. But I want to end off this part of the discussion with this. So, you know, as South Africans, we have a sense of humor, right? If the social media is anything to go by, I mean, whether we're going through a tragedy, whether, you know, there's always someone out there who's on standby to crack a joke. And before you know it, that thing is, and we're all laughing and we've forgotten about our heartache. So not so long ago on social media, I would imagine that, you know, most of us have seen it. There's a lady who goes to a store to buy your brand Coca-Cola, sugar-free, right? She gets a bottle of sugar-free Coke, and then she goes to the aisle where there's sugar, literally sugar, takes a packet of sugar and takes the Coca-Cola free. She gets to the till and somebody who's with her says, but why are you buying sugar-free Coca-Cola and a packet of sugar? She says, well, I need to put the sugar in the Coke because they say there's no sugar here. There's no sugar in the bottle of Coke. It's sugar-free, so I need to weigh a little bit of sugar because I like it, you know, with some sugar in it. Just thought I'd touch on the sense of it we have as South Africans. But thank you so much, Busi. Lovely to talk to you. But please stay on. Let me see if there's a comment for you from anybody. Thank you so much. I'll chat to you again just now. Dashmika Pillay from Durban says, we need the bread box in Durban. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. I have delivered the message. We need the bread box in Durban.
We're working on it.
Yeah, in Durban. So with that said, please may we play the Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa commercial? Somebody? That Coca-Cola beverages fridge that is strategically placed. And before you know it, as you're minding your business, you feel like you are thirsty from nowhere. And you are now forced to buy, in a way, to grab that bottle of Coca-Cola from the fridge, unintentional purchasing, which is working fantastically for the brand. Yeah, so those are the kind of things that Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa does. Thank you so much, guys. I would have loved to have everybody chat at the same time, but I'm going to do this. And to all the speakers, this question, or as we step off our professional hats a little bit and we talk about, you know, just before, as we nearing the end of the discussion today, we talk about all things that make us human, really, you know, because when we leave our offices and we go home, we're consumers, we are moms, we are wives, we are sisters, we are aunts, we are neighbors, we are cousins, or whatever, in no particular order. So with that said, I just want to throw one or two questions your way that any of you can really, you know, participate in this question that I'm going to ask in no particular order. So how do you in your environment and your work space, step in, not only as a boss, who is a leader of a team, but as a woman. How do you step in to fix somebody else's crown? And how do you let your guard down a bit and remember that you're also a woman, and when you're dealing with whatever it is that you may be dealing with and helping a colleague or somebody that reports into you or whatever the case, but how do you step off that professional space and be a woman, who feels somebody else's pain, or who feels somebody else's challenge? And I think I want to start off with Joan. I want to start with you, Joan.
Thank you. Well, I've unmuted myself. That's right. I think one of the actions I've never forgotten, one of the incidents was in my office with an executive secretary, and she was there very early, and she looked terribly distressed. And I said, "Oh, has something happened at home?" He said, "No, I don't know what to say to you." I said, "Well, just say it." She said, "I forgot all about that work you asked me to do." I said, "That's marvelous, so honest. Well, let's both do it." She said, "Really?" I said, "It's wonderful when people don't feel the need to lie, but just say, I forgot to do it. And then we can all get down and help you." So relax, my sister. As you know, many a man in my committee prefers to give me an inaccurate response. I love your attitude. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's okay to forget. Hey, Joan, we are not, it's okay to forget. We all forget. I mean, I'll tell you a little story. I forgot where I put my car keys one day in the office. And I looked everywhere for the car keys because I had an interview to go to. The team tried to help me. I went to the kitchen, tried to retrace my steps. I could not find the keys. A colleague of mine, Janine, who thought she was dealing with a mad black woman, I ran into her office and I said, "Give me your car keys, please. I need to go somewhere." She threw the keys at me, and I drove Janine's car to an appointment. As I was driving on Drivonia Road, a light bulb moment. I suddenly remembered where I put my keys. They were safely put in between my twins. I'll leave it there. The rest is a private conversation. It was safe. My keys were safe in between my twins, and I thought I'd lost my keys. I actually literally had a laugh out moment in the car alone, because it can happen to the best of us, right?
Yes, well, at least it's a lot better than what I did, putting my washing in the fridge.
It gets worse. Oh my word, it gets worse. And it's okay to laugh at ourselves. Life is difficult as it is. You have got to find the humor. You have to find the humor. Anna-Marie, what's your story?
Well, I think when it comes about forgetting, really not as I must say, I've kind of office a couple of times in COVID, where I ended up without my laptop and found myself at work without a laptop. And that has happened a couple of times. But I think in terms of your question, what makes us human is I think, one, the honesty. Luckily, I work in a profession where I think within the nutrition world, it's mainly women. We've got very few men. Within Nestlé, of course, we've got a lot of men. But we have almost 50%, 40% women in our business, which also makes it very nice. So I think we are, because we're emotional creatures, for me, it's one of the best things. I have a friend at the office, and someone said one day, you have to have a best friend in the office. And I'm very fortunate to have had a few very best friends. And you could just go there and say, I need a hug today. And I have found over the years that those warm hugs really mean so much when I need it, or when my friends have needed, or just someone else. And I think being in the office helps us to see what other people are going through, and people don't always want to share, but being there for people and just making yourself available, in my experience, has helped so much. In my teams over the years, I've seen that too. And mums, often with sick children, and it's so nice for them just to be able to say, I can't come to work today, I've got a sick child at home, or something has happened, and you know, we're kind of just there for each other. And I think having each other's backs has really helped so much. In my career, I traveled quite a lot in the past few years. I've been at SA now almost 25 years. So, but traveling a lot and always knowing that there's someone out there. When my kids were in school, I could call a teacher and just say, just make sure that my daughter's ponytail is fixed, and literally sing her crown when she gets to school in the morning, because that was not quite as patient with doing the pets and all the things that the kids want. But yeah, so I think being honest with yourself and with other people is probably the
Everything else falls right into place. Thank you so much, Anna Marie. Stay put, don't go anywhere. Gonzo, are you there? What's your story? Who's your role model in the industry? Oh.
She's 85. She's the chairperson of one of the co-ops. She has such energy and such rich history, you know, about the history of the farmers, where, you know, the role of women, you know, before transformation. So every time I'm in the Bundus, I always try and make time and to meet up with her. I think within the industry, all the women, you know, that I've interacted with, if I remember my first day within the industry, I had a lady who asked me who I am, and I said, you know, I'm Gonzo. And then she said, when you're engaging with so-and-so, be careful, don't do this. And I remember that I took everything that she said to heart, and it helped me a lot. And when I had issues, you know, I could go back to her and say, I'm presenting this paper, or I'm meeting with this committee, listen to this presentation. Is it enough? Am I able to? She was, you know, with me all the way. So, and currently within Tonga Tulip, I would say in all levels of the organization, you always find a young, you know, lady who inspires you, you know, to either be more in terms of what you do, and again, to be, what's the right word? To be available, because I found that a lot of times, obviously, in our roles, we are quite busy, and it's always nice, you know, to dedicate time when someone comes to your office, either just to say hello, or if they are presenting a problem. In my environment, the majority are male in terms of the team. So I would ask about their families and try and connect with their spouses or partners, so that, you know, there is that sense of team and sense of family. And I found that it has made the working environment, you know, quite productive and healthy, and it increases the sense of trust amongst the members, you know, who are part of the team or of my team at the time.
But I think you told us what we want to know. I wanted to find out what is it that you forgot. But I'm going to ask Busi. Busi is coming back online now. What is the one thing, Busi, that you forgot at work, but you managed to clean it up very nicely and things didn't fall apart completely? What is that one thing? Tell us the secret. You start
I really can't think of anything right away. But I mean, what is important to know is, as humans, we're not perfect, right? And it's important as women to overcome, the need for perfectionism, and for us to, to be accepted.
Yeah.
We need to realize that you are not a rock.
Yes.
So you are a human being with emotions.
Yes.
So you need to allow yourself, your mental being must always be important. So if there's something that you forget at work, there's always the next day to get back to it.
Absolutely.
So why do you need to put yourself, you need to put yourself first, especially when me. So you need to make sure that you love yourself unconditionally, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's important to have the sisterhood. So you need to be the sisterhood. So I think I have been fortunate that in my environment that I'm working in, there's a lot of women that I look up to.
Okay.
That, if I've forgotten something or there is something that I don't know, I can always go to those women to lean on and to from them.
I agree with you about two things from what you've said is that sisterhood. Every girl needs their circle of sisterhood. You need it. You just need it. People who are not going to judge you, people who are going to accept you for who you are. Sisterhood is key, but also that we're not human. In light of Women's Month, August, there's a say that is profound, that we hear all the time. I don't prescribe to it. Imbogodo is a stone that does not crack, and you've just alluded to that. It does not crack. You hit it, it does not crack. I want to crack. I'm sure you want to crack too. I want to have an ugly cry. I want to lose my mind. I want to eat a tub of ice cream without anyone judging me and finish it all. I want to drink my glass of wine. I want to do things that human beings do without being called imbogodo. We crack, guys. We crack. Don't let anyone. We crack, and we need to crack to demonstrate that we are human. And you've just alluded to that nicely. Thank you so much, Busi. Thank you. I'll say my goodbyes to you now as I do my closing remarks. And it's okay to, so with that said, before I have a one-on-one with the speakers to say goodbye, I would like us to show on the screen the 20 winners of the amazing, proudly South African goodie bags, courtesy of Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa and Nestle South Africa. On your screen, these are the competition winners. These are the competition winners. Fantastic. Women from all over the place. We've got 20 of them, which is fantastic. So the delivery man is making their way to you. I'm told sometime in the next few days. The team is nodding. They're making their way to you to deliver your goodies. There's one condition. When you do get your goodies, please unbox it and take a video and share with us on Instagram or on your preferred social media platform. Do the deed, because we would like to be part of it and see what goodies you have received and how excited you are. We also have a winner of the 3-course meal experience at the Bread Box. And the winner is, drum roll, and the winner is, you're going to have dinner on Friday with whoever that you choose to go there with. The winner is Tenigay Pillay. Tanigay Pillay is the winner of the 3-course meal experience at the Bread Box this Friday. Well done, Tanigay Pillay. We will be in touch. Proudly South African will be in touch to give you all the details. Go think about your local, your beautiful dress that is made locally by somebody. It doesn't matter who, it can be anybody who is South African, and walk the talk. Go have a nice meal at the Bread Box and show up. Get up, show up, get up, dress up, and show up. Thank you so much, everybody. And my closing comments are at this. We are about to close the conversation today. I mean, so much to absorb, so much to to think of, so much to ponder on. Let everything you've heard of today sink in. Let everything sink in. And I think what we need to take away from this discussion today is that as women, it's okay not to be imperfectly perfect. Okay, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay. I'll tell you another quick story about the issue of forgetting. One of the women that in my sisterhood tells me that one day she goes to after work. It's colleagues. They go to Friday. They go Friday after work. They go for with this. She cannot find her phone. She looks everywhere. She tries to retrace her step. She goes back to the bar, which is not far from her home, to look for her phone. She asks everybody in the bar, the waiters that served her. She cannot find the phone. She goes back home. She's distraught because her phone is her life. She phones her dad and says, "Dad, I've lost my phone. Please, when you try to get a hold of me from tomorrow, you must phone me from another number. Here's the number, blah, blah, blah." And the dad says, "Okay, so where did you lose your phone?" "I went out for drinks with my colleague." "What kind of colleague do you hang around with?" "Now somebody stole your phone." "Yes, Dad, I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody." "Go back to the bar and look for the phone." And then the dad says, "Wait a minute. Which phone are you using now to phone me?" It is the phone that was lost. Guys, it's okay. All of that is okay. The dad says, "Come down. Which phone are you using now to phone me?" Please, can I have Joan on screen? Because I want to say thank you and goodbye to Joan. It's the phone that had disappeared. It's in her hands. Joan, it happens to the best of us. It's a lovely story, and it's a true story. Listen, my life is a movie, Joan, and I come across all these stories, and to keep myself happy, the